watching the CBC News Network. I'm Carol McNeil. Our top story this hour. Here's the video of the fiery raid on Osama Bin Laden's compound in Pakistan. The mission that included U.S. Navy SEALs and counter-terrorism operatives lasted 40 minutes. Sources say Bin Laden refused to give himself up and was eventually shot in the head. 3 other men are also believed to have died, along with a woman who U.S. officials say Bin Laden used as a human shield. The operation was so secretive, only a handful of officials knew it was taking place. The mastermind behind 9/11 was not hiding in a cave in Afghanistan, as many have believed. Instead, he was found in the military town of Abbottabad. It's located about 60 kilometers north of the Pakistani capital, Islamabad. Let's look inside that compound now that Bin Laden was hiding out in. This amateur video, courtesy of ABC News, was taken after the raid. As you can see, the bedroom was turned upside down. Large pools of blood can be seen on the carpet. We just heard from John Brennan, counterterrorism official, who says that if they could have, they would have taken Bin Laden alive, but he was fighting back. For a closer look at the military operation, I'm joined now live by former CIA senior counterterrorism officer John Kiriakou. Kiriakou is also the author of The Reluctant Spy: My Secret Life in the CIA's War on Terrorism, and he joins me now live from Washington. First of all, let me ask you this. We heard from John Brennan, the chief counterterrorism advisor to President Obama, say that they weren't 100% sure that they had Osama bin Laden in that compound, and the president made one of the gutsiest decisions that John Brennan had seen in recent history. What's your reaction to that?
Oh, I agree with that completely. We used to joke in the CIA that the only irrefutable evidence that exists are notarized photographs of Osama bin Laden in any given place. This was about as good as we were going to get.
Okay. Let's talk about how it went down. What's your reaction from what you've been able to see and hear from in the media and maybe from your contacts?
By all accounts, this was an absolutely resounding success. The intelligence was strong, stronger than we have seen since the fall of Tora Bora, since bin Laden escaped that night at Tora Bora. And the president knew good information when he saw it, and he decided rightly to act on it quickly.
Okay. How much planning? I mean, he gave the order while the rest of us were watching the royal wedding across the pond, as we say. Right. He was giving the order to track down what they thought was Osama bin Laden. What would have happened from that point on?
Once the president gives the order, everybody does exactly as they were trained to do. We're told that this was JSOC involved, the Joint Special Operations Command, along with CIA field operatives, counterterrorism officers, or special activities officers. They work hand in glove together, and they had practiced this for months, reportedly. They got in the helicopters, went to the compound, and did exactly as they were trained to do.
What impact do you think catching and killing, never mind catching, killing Osama bin Laden without producing the body, saying we've now dumped him in the North Arabian Sea, he no longer exists, what impact is this going to have in the world, and why would the Americans do that?
Well, I think there are always going to be doubters, and I think the administration understands that, and I believe that they're going to be forced eventually to release a photograph or a video indicating that it was indeed bin Laden. I think it's not enough in this day and age to have a White House official just go on television and say, we got him, take our word for it. I will say that that Al-Qaeda has come out and lamented the loss of their leader, so at least we have that. But I really do believe that the White House is going to have to produce a photograph.
Okay. We also heard a lot of questions today, John, about Pakistan and their role. One of the most tense moments, according to John Brennan, is because they had violated Pakistan airspace. They say it openly. They went in on the strong intelligence that perhaps this was Osama bin Laden. It turned out that it was, but at the same time, the Pakistani Air Force, like, something is amiss in this military town, and we're scrambling our jets. Your reaction to that?
Right. Right. You know, I think the Pakistanis, as much as they hate it, have gotten used to the idea that we do violate their sovereignty, we do violate their airspace. And the truth of the matter is, when we do that, we kill bad guys. There are very few mistakes these days. The technology's improved, the drones are more efficient, and they know that we're going in there to do a job and we're going to get out. I think they're so used to that that they just have become complacent, and they've, for all intents and purposes, have allowed us to do the job. I think that's what we saw last night.
All right, well, we'll leave it there. Former CIA Senior Counterterrorism Officer John Kiriakou, live from Washington. Thank you, John.
Thanks for having me.